Is Mr. Zubair here? Sheikh Zubair, this is an urgent notice from the Academia. This celebration, or whatever it is, must stop at once.
What a condescending guy. What's his deal?
Since Zubair Theater has long violated the Academia's policies and orders, we have decided to demolish it. As its manager, you must halt all operations and dismiss all staff members within 30 days, after which you will report to the Academia for further punishment.
Why? Why force us to do this all of a sudden?
Little girl, this is not the first time you've been issued a warning.
I didn't hear anything about demolition the last time I asked, and now I suddenly only have 30 days? We have more shows planned, but it's impossible to do anything in just 30 days. How am I supposed to explain this to my customers and staff?
That issue is of no concern to me, Mr. Zubair.
Can we shoot him?
You seem to understand the situation quite clearly. Perhaps you can reflect on the reasons why you have failed to prepare for the scenario in advance.
Or maybe you can stop being a douche.
Demolition? Why do they want to demolish this place?
The Academia has never liked us, and they've never respected our work. To them, what we do is all a waste of time. This isn't the first time they've come by. They had asked us several times in the past to improve the quality of our performances by only putting on shows they consider to be sufficiently intellectual.
Which is just stupid.
But our audience isn't the Academia. It's the people of the Grand Bazaar. If our shows are too difficult to understand or too removed from everyday life, nobody would watch them anymore. Changing our content would not only mean turning our backs on our vision, it would also directly lead to the loss of our livelihoods. Yeah, the theater is very important to each and every one of us.
The way they're doing things is so scummy.
But I also don't know how we can stop them.
I do not wish to explain everything again from the beginning. Time is of the essence, so you should act with haste and...
But none of us plan to accept this. Such an abrupt notice is contrary to established policy.
Ask whoever you will. The answer will remain the same. We have already given you sufficient notice.
Clearly not.
Enough! Does your audacity know no limits, Father?
Huh? Father? Their family?
What Academia? This is all because you don't like Zubair Theater. You're just using the Academia's name to threaten us. Let me tell you, even if you manage to tear down this place, nothing is going to change. You've always been awful. But even I never thought my father would sink this low.
This is strictly business. It has nothing to do with where you are, what you do, or what you think. I hope you all have not been irrevocably blinded by folly. I will not waste more time on pointless arguments. Wrap everything up, and make preparations to shut down at once.
We could just kill him.
Ah. Why is he always like that? You can't win a debate against the Academia. Especially since your opponent will be my father. My father is an extremely demanding man.
Okay, that does not mean he's good at debating.
He's always wanted me to become an exceptional researcher and his academic successor.
Doesn't mean you have to listen.
I tried my best to meet his expectations and did everything I could, but he still wasn't satisfied. Or rather, he had just never been satisfied with me. I'm no genius. But whenever he berated me, it was always as if he was asking me, "Why aren't you a genius?" Yeah, like I'd know.
So that's why you ran away from home?
At first, I thought the father would slowly come to terms with reality. But he just wouldn't stop berating me.
Because he's living a fantasy, so he's gonna be easy to debate.
For one exam, I earned the third highest score. I thought that all my hard work had finally paid off, and that I could finally make Father feel some modicum of joy. I even used the embroidery skills I learned at school to make a commemorative gift for him. I thought, even this daughter can make her father happy sometimes.
I see. When we were embroidering your gift before, I didn't feel like you were new at it.
Yeah. Sorry for not bringing it up. These are not pleasant memories for me. I was tired of him yelling at me every day. All I wanted was to see him smile at me, but he was more angry than ever before once I'd given him my embroidery and told him my score. He flung my present to the side. You think you should be proud of third place? Reflect on why you weren't first.
Yeah, he's just a bastard.
I forgot how long I'd cried for. I only remember my parents arguing. My mother also thought he went overboard. They argued for such a long time. My father eventually stormed out and slammed the door behind him. I didn't get a single sentence of apology or any words of comfort. I've completely given up. We're destined to never understand each other.
How horrible!
I don't think you can beat him in a debate. Because he doesn't even understand what kind of place a theater is. He can never understand the relationship performers have with their audience. His life is devoid of camaraderie or friendship.
He just sounds heartless and stupid. Like, he doesn't sound very smart.
He just wants everything to happen according to his wishes. As if the world revolves around him.
Big fish, small pond.
What we cherish, our little place in this world, means nothing to him.
It sounds like your past has had a huge impact on you.
I understand now, Inaya.
You're right. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not trying to meet his expectations. So why should I give up because of him?
You shouldn't. You also shouldn't run into the wild when your father, who's supposedly smart, never taught you how to clean water, filter water, or how to not get almost eaten by tigers.
I can't afford to lose anything more. We have to win. The debate will not only protect Zubair Theater, but also allow me to settle things with Father.
Oh, now we're going on a revenge arc, I see?
That's the spirit!
Is it?
Let's go. I'll tell my father about the debate.
Wait, you didn't even do that?
I know him very well. Even if he looks down on us, I know how to make him accept.
Are you going to threaten that you will do something,
Alright.
blah blah
Let's go.
blah, unless he does? It's time to punch him in the face.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am Safwan, a scholar from the Academia, and I will serve as this debate's adjudicator.
Wouldn't it make more sense for an outlander or someone not connected to the fucking academia to serve as a fair adjudicator?
I swear to judge both parties with the utmost wisdom and impartiality. I will neither interfere with the proceedings nor demonstrate bias.
But you are part of the one of the parties.
I ask for both parties to stand. May the Dendro Archon also serve as a witness to this duel of wits.
Yeah, I'm with you, Biggie. Like, this doesn't make sense. You are part of the governing party that we are arguing against.
Since you so desperately demand an explanation, I will expound on the Academia's stance. You may have misunderstood us from the outset and believe that the Academia is prejudiced against you. However, the truth is that the Academia wishes for every resident of Sumeru to be afforded opportunities to grow and cultivate their wisdom. Therefore, the works they consume should also possess enlightening qualities and intellectual value. We have failed to identify these qualities in the shows performed at Zubair Theater. In other words, instead of struggling against the Academia in pointless confrontations, if you had spent your time reflecting on improving the quality of your shows and enlightening your audience, Zubair Theater would not be today facing such a tragic fate.
Aggressive from the get-go. He's really putting on the pressure. Can Nilu stand her ground?
Calm down, Nilu. First, carefully analyze what he said. He said that we were shut down not because the Academia looks down on the arts, but rather because our shows aren't up to their standard. In your eyes, our shows can't meet the Academia's expectations. Shouldn't it be the audience who decides if a show is intellectual or enlightening? Why is someone from the academia judging that? Also, I believe that there is no such thing as a wiser or more enlightening performance. Art doesn't discriminate, and it appeals to all. Everyone has the right to appreciate art.
Appreciation is but a primitive form of satisfaction. Guidance and enlightenment are necessary if we are to induce growth in the performers as well as the audience. This stance holds performers to a higher standard and encourages the development of the arts. If all performances are simple-minded, require little effort to comprehend, and lack any impetus for the betterment of society, then the people will not be able to develop a greater level of artistic understanding.
But what you're asking for isn't artistic understanding.
Nurturing the populace's understanding requires a long and arduous process, and guiding this process is the academia's true goal.
No, it isn't.
He changed the topic without batting an eye. Good thing I'm prepared. If I remember correctly, someone at our theater has tried that before. He was a famed artist, but he recognized that very few people could connect with his works. I agree that art should be
Yes,
enlightened.
he is an asshat.
But we can't pursue that goal by creating complicated works. If a work can't tap into an audience's personal experiences or feelings, then its contents may as well be a castle in the sky. What's the point of performing a show that its audience can't even follow? That would only be forcing people to watch something they don't like.
You can only reach that conclusion from a place of ignorance.
In that case, before passing judgment, you should first become a better dancer than me.
You tell them, Nilu.
Looks like he's backed himself into a corner.
As the party holding the burden of proof, Sharif has failed to provide sufficient support for his judgment of the quality of Zubair Theater's program.
Because he doesn't actually know anything about art.
Likewise, the definition that Nilu put forth is but her personal opinion. Neither party is the victor for this particular point of contention. Additionally, I must request that both parties exercise greater control on their emotions.
Keep it up, Nilu! You're doing great!
In that case, I shall speak of more concrete matters. The essence of this issue is that you have violated the law. So you must now pay
Oh, I
the
know which
price
answer we
for
need
your
to put for this
transgression.
one. Swift kick to the throat would solve this. I know, right? I'm like, we have superpowers. And the story is like, you can't do anything. Like, most of the people in the academia don't have a vision. I could kill all of them.
This course of action is also completely procedurally sound. We have already contacted Zubair Theater multiple times regarding the theater's repertoire. However, you have consciously ignored our warnings. Or perhaps your compliance was purely superficial. Regardless, that failure has indirectly led to the present day's proceedings.
That is indeed so, according to the laws decreed by the academia.
He started talking about procedural stuff. Mr. Zubair has already provided signed copies of all documentation related to our operations. Everything is perfectly filled out and valid. Although the theater's performances don't align with the academia's requests, the law doesn't say that Zubair Theater can be demolished only because of that reason. Demolition notices need to be provided in writing and made available to the public. Otherwise, the theater can continue to operate as long as its license is valid. Failing to follow these rules makes your stance procedurally unsound.
Yeah! That's right!
There are different ways to apply the rules. So long as this matter is discussed within the academia, this course of action will come to pass.
Looking at the past 27 cases of similar nature, 90% of them support Sharif's claim. However, the demolition process in those cases was only started after discussion at the academia. In other words, premature notice of demolition is indeed a rash act.
That's more than enough. We've proven that the order is unreasonable as it currently stands.
Cease your futile resistance.
Nilu's definitely won this point, right? You're right. Stay focused, Nilu.
Even if permission for demolition has yet to be obtained, it is a fact that your performances violated the academia's policies on numerous occasions. Based on that fact, we can permanently revoke your right to perform in Sumeru.
Under the current system, it is indeed possible to immediately revoke Zubair Theater's performing rights.
That's a thing?
Rather than protecting Zubair Theater, I surmise that your true intention is to maintain your hold over your audience, and their patronage as your source. Without them, Zubair Theater is nothing more than an empty building, and without its performances, the theater has nothing else of value.
What you said isn't true at all.
Keep it cool, Nilu!
Right. I need to keep calm just a little more. Zubair Theater isn't simply a performance venue to us.
I also
It
agree,
means
Biggie.
more than that. It's been our home for a long time. Miss Raykar can't go on adventures anymore, but she has found a stable career and a new life at the theater. Her son, Soren, has already passed his theater exam, and he'll soon be our newest member. Mr. Kasani found a new way to look at art. He decided to stay at the theater to watch us grow. Mr. Farhad and Mr. Hushang visit even when there isn't a show going on, and they always tell us lots of entertaining stories. Even Inaya wants to stay with us, and she's starting to look forward to a new future. Zubair Theater exists for them, for every single one of us.
Perhaps Zubair Theater has provided you with a multitude of positive emotions and experiences. However, the interpersonal relationships you speak of were established upon normal theater operations. Sheikh Zubair operates the theater for his livelihood. His employees work for their wages. Relationships are merely a byproduct in this exchange of interests. They may be pleasant and captivating when scholars collaborate to solve difficult problems. We freely share our knowledge and resources with one another as if we were all kin. However, this collaboration ends after the results of our work are published. The reason is simple. We are scholars, and there are new projects that await our attention.
He really doesn't think much of relationships. Paimon also thinks he did a lot of prep. He's been solid as—
Sharif's argument is currently the more persuasive of the two. For this point of the continuance of the interpersonal relationships Nilu spoke of remains hypothetical before the theater's demolition. Whereas the situation that Sharif described has been well documented at the academia has made significant academic contributions, in no small part due to its researchers' efficiency and ability to compartmentalize.
But that doesn't work in every situation.
Oh no, what should we do? Things are going in the opposite direction. A setup? So
Good. He said what he said. The next argument but is this really the best thing to do?
Murder.
It might be too cool to Inaya. She already agreed to this. She wants to— Mr. Sharif believes that interpersonal relationships are a byproduct of working towards a goal. Once that goal is achieved or abandoned, those relationships would have no more reason to continue. Then, if someone has failed to live up to his expectations—
If someone has failed to live up to your expectations and ran away from home, then she shouldn't be your daughter anymore.
Stab them with a
Right?
chainsaw, then turn it on. I agree.
Inaya,
Sorry, Nilu. As expected, I should be the one to say it. You don't need to shoulder this responsibility for me. If in your eyes, the purpose of my existence is to become your academic successor, then that goal has ended in complete failure. By your logic, that means there is no more reason to sustain our relationship as father and daughter.
Members of the audience who do not belong to either debate party, please speak with caution.
Let her speak. What she does not say, Nilu will.
No matter how many disagreements we've had, the truth is that you are still my father. You're so immersed in your own world, you can't understand why we come together for the sake of relationships.
Yeah, don't look down on us.
You can watch a dance anywhere, but there's only one Zubair Theater.
I'm almost starting to feel sorry for this guy, what with the idiotic things he said.
Order! Order! Members of the audience, do not interrupt debate proceedings.
I confess that this is the final argument we had prepared. Disown me, and you will win the debate. But before that, Father, I have some final words to say. I've been doing some soul searching. Not about whether I should have run away from home, but whether there was any point to my personal rebellion against you. I kept trying to earn your approval, but I only disappointed you over and over. The truth is, I ran away from home as a means to vent my recurring frustrations. That is to say, I was exerting pressure on you and hoping you'd give up on your lofty expectations. But by doing that, wasn't I just doing the same thing as you? I won't force my expectations upon you anymore. At Zubair Theater, I have found the life I've always wanted. I will move on from my family troubles and strive towards my new goal. But if you dare to harm this place, then I will stand with my friends here and fight against you.
This is not the time to space out, Sharif. The debate is still underway.
You are not being an impartial, you whore.
You already consider them to be your friends.
You should be asking us that question.
Of course we are!
Miss Inaya is a really good friend.
It was a bit of a process, but we won her over.
Make no mistake. All those who come to Zubair Theater become one of us. We will always be with her.
Such puerile simplicity. However,
I don't know what this means. Why are you putting your
it
hand?
is surprisingly a relief.
Wait, what are you... never mind.
So, he... Allow. It's not misogyny in this case. Yeah, he's not being